Hey everyone, today we're going to jump into LinkedIn and how to get a profile started, how to add things to it. We're going to jump straight into this and start off with a good photo. You're going to need a photo that clearly shows your face with a good old smile. Make sure it's a planned photo though. You're not taking any selfies, no rushed pictures. Make sure it's planned, make sure it's thoughtful, make sure it represents you. Make sure your face is fully in view. Your hairstyle is done the way that you want it or need it to be for that industry. Make sure you're cropping it, editing it, make sure the lighting is okay. Make sure it shows off you, not just the background. It needs to clearly show you. Make sure it's high class, make sure it's not a dating app. It's meant for you to show your skills to a hiring manager. Could be from a VP, supervisor, or the CEO of a company. You never know, so you really want to put that face fresh in their mind when you do all of that. Second, you're going to list your name and your degree and make sure it's your full first and last name, and you can even include your degree in your last name section of LinkedIn. For example, my name is Jacob Ratzlaff MBA. If you don't have a degree or significant certification, that's okay. Leave it. It's better to keep it clean and sleek than to have 15 initials that nobody understands afterwards. Then we're going to head straight into the headline. You're going to start with your name again. This time it's going to be your preferred name. Better in this section, as well as when you add in additional names in that field, there will be a full field for additional names. So fill those out applicably. If it doesn't apply, again, leave it. Start with your full first and last name in this headline, and you're going to follow it up with a note of what you currently do. It is optional, but it does make it more personable. For example, Jacob Ratzlaff leading teams of IT professionals at X company. You don't have to list it, just say healthcare or concrete or fencing or IT. You can just leave it like that. That really works too. But also follow up with a nice, clean, simple hook to keep it true to you, but also entices them to keep looking throughout your profile because it really is right underneath your picture, your name. It's going to be right there next to you. Keep it simple, keep it small. It's not your resume at this point. The next section will be closer to your resume, and this is where a lot of people fill it out. It's super heavy, but you don't need to fill it out as deep because you will have different sections in here that you could fill out for full resume experience. But your about section is going to be the greatest accomplishments section. What are you most proud of? Keep it to three. 3 accomplishments is great. If you don't have those, say what you're about, say what you want to do. Maybe talk about your dream job. Don't give timelines, because if you say, hey, next year I'm going to do this, and you're applying to a different position, they're going to think you're going to jump ship to that position if it becomes available. But make sure that you make your intentions clear. Make sure you're thoughtful on what you're listing. If you don't want to tell your hiring manager, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go to this position in my career, and it's not the current position that is going to fit in your career, they're going to think you're going to jump ship at the first moment. So just keep it at 3, and then you always kind of want to start things with a hook, something enticing, something that's exciting, because LinkedIn, you don't want a boring resume, you don't want a boring cover letter, you don't want a boring profile. Keep it exciting, keep it happy, keep it boom, big. And so with your accomplishments, make sure to note what you did and how it impacted the organization or the community that you supported during that time. Typically, it works best if you have metrics to follow up, like a percentage change, revenue, cost decrease. It could also be a time relevance. Say it saved 15 minutes a day per person, or it saved 30 hours of work time. Those are really big metrics that hit when someone's reviewing your profile. And typically, it's a hiring manager or someone who is potentially a hiring manager for you. This is going to be huge. You can build into other things and networking as it needed. But for right now, list out your accomplishments. And then right after that, what are you known for? What do people come to you for? Say that you're really good at Excel. You're an Excel expert in this area, or you're a guru in Python. These are just examples, but what do you feel like people know you for? And it would be valid to ask a coworker, ask a colleague, ask a friend, hey, if a hiring manager asked me, what would I be known for? What would you say? And get that feedback and apply it. So what are you personally known for? And what are you proud of? What are you personally proud of? This is typically not work related. So what you would note is a personal objective that you've completed, a personal obstacle that you've overcome, challenges, or it could be something that you were really seeking out doing, and make it recent. But what are you most personally proud of? Don't make it work related. Typically this is good for connecting on a personal level. If someone's been married for 59 years and you just say you just got married, it's going to be a great connection of, oh, I remember that so long ago. But typically it's a really good ender for your about section. You'll follow right into the top skills area, and this is actually a separate section than your about. Your top skills are going to be fairly simple, fairly quick. Keep it to 5. Keep it to 5 items. You can write out what you are skilled in. Typically there are general areas that you will have, like leadership, strategic planning, growth development, technical support. Those are just examples from my LinkedIn profile, but keep it to 5. Any more than that, and then they will have to click into it to see it. Any less than that, that's completely fine. Don't leave it blank. The more information you have out there is perfect. You'll also have a featured section, and the featured section I would say is optional and can be kept blank, but the more achievements and accomplishments that you add to LinkedIn, you can choose from that portfolio of areas that you are most proud of. And typically you can list this out on your profile based on what you've posted. If you have a lot of certifications on there, if you list your degrees, if you've done a community outreach event that you've posted on, make sure it's a post. Preferably it's an internal post that you are in or that you've posted. That way you are not taking someone else's featured item. It could be someone posting about you, but typically leave that if you're just starting out. If you started out and you have your profile built out like previously discussed, and you've been tossing stuff at it nonstop, perfect. Add a featured item in there and then move forward with that. There is a lot of other sections like experience. Typically what I would suggest is run through your resume what you would be comfortable listing for the hiring manager relevant to the career that you want. So you're not just tossing every single experience that you have in there just to give you a timeline. What you would do is you would build it out according to the position you want. It could be in another industry, it could be another career entirely, but make sure that you're adding in key ideas that you feel like you can tie into your next position. I want to go executive leadership. I am a ways away from it, but I know that if I add in that I previously worked at a Taco Bell as frontline, it might not help me as much to add it in there, and it will cause white noise. Typically what I would suggest is items that you can pinpoint at least three things that will help you in your next position would be strategically better than just tossing in white noise. If you don't have a whole lot of experience or a whole lot of background, then it is okay to add it in there for now. That is completely fine. I would say stand on the less is more idea on this, because LinkedIn also has a algorithm that says, oh, you previously did this, how about these people? And you might not have solid connection with them, you might not have knowledge of who they are even, and it might not be reasonable for you to connect with these people. So keep it to items that are relevant to your desired career and your desired career path. That also falls into education. Typically, if you have any sort of completed education, whether that's certification, degree, courses, videos that you've accomplished, or some sort of formal knowledge base growing, it is okay to add that in there. Because one, it says that you can complete a task in a timely manner within the parameters given. And if it's a college that's in person and you graduated, it tells them that you've done the work, you can be there consistently, you can be on time, you can do the work as asked, and be a reasonable person to hire. That kind of falls in line with licenses and certifications. Education is typically formal, bachelor's, master's, diploma, doctorates, stuff like that. Licenses and certifications is very applicable. Toss as much in there as you can. Make sure it's credible though. There's a lot of information that's out there that you can say, oh, I did 15 courses in this, but if it's not credible, it's not worth it. You don't want to list yourself with a non-credible location or company, because that brings down your credibility in that field. Another section is projects and skills. It's okay to leave blank for now until you actually have a definitive project or portfolio that you are comfortable listing out for companies to read and understand. It's okay to leave it blank. Add it in when you have built those, or you feel like, I'm confident that I can talk on this piece. Skills as well are going to be relevant to your education, licenses, certifications, and projects. Each of those will bring relative skills to your section. Make sure you to fill that out. Don't just toss things in there, because at most it shows 2 skills and then it lists out show all blank skills. Make sure that it's thoughtful, because you don't get to choose what top 2 are going to be there. Recommendations, please leave that blank for now. Don't just give out recommendations just to receive recommendations. Make sure that it's thoughtful. Make sure that it's from credible sources, that you want to continue to have it on your profile, that you're connected with these people. Received is when someone writes it about you, and given is when you write it about someone else. It also says a timeline and how you're connected to them. So be strategic on that. If you're giving out 15 of them and then on your received you have 15 of them of the exact same date or of the same week, typically people see through that. The next section is honors and awards. It's very similar to your skills, where you don't really have a whole lot that you can add to it. So you can add them in like projects, but honors and awards are typically what you've received from others. It's not something that you write in, but it's something that you accomplished and someone else noted that for you. Someone awarded you, or someone has honored you in that area, not something that you're typically building yourself. If you're proud of it and you have a lot of accomplishments and your portfolio is large, add in 3. No more than 3. If you can build up to 3, do 1. That's totally fine. Do none, leave it blank. That's fine too. It's not going to show up. It's just going to remove it from your profile until you have it added in. So you're not missing out if it's not in there. No one's going to be like, oh, why is this one blank? It's just not going to show up. So you're fine there. Interests, it shows the top people that you're following, and make sure that's applicable to the industry that you want to be in. Top voices are social media profiles that are popular celebrities. Gary Vaynerchuk, Sal Khan, who does Khan Academy. I follow them both because I like the values that they bring to the communities. If you have an interest in certain companies, make sure it's thoughtful. Make sure you're not following like 15 different companies that don't really mean much, but are relevant to the industry that you want. Always make sure that your LinkedIn is complete and connected to the industry. So companies that you're following, you really want to get information from them. And for me, it's IT, it's leadership. I love businesses, I love IT. So I'm going to connect with large businesses, large IT companies that have influence in the community, in the world, and in the news. Groups are another section of interests. These are typically groups that you join, similar to Facebook has Facebook groups. LinkedIn does groups in a similar fashion, but they have it applicable to that area. So if you're looking for construction, there's construction management, there's construction data analytics, there's vehicles and transportation and logistics. You're in project management, the PMI project group is there. It's over 500,000 members. Personally, I follow the PMI group as well as IT asset management group because I love them both. That's suitable for my career. A hiring manager is going to look at that and say, yep, that applies to this, this, and this of this position. Newsletters is just more information on what you want to pull from the news from certain sources, and make sure that they're sources that you trust, that you would be trusted to connect with, because people can see that too. And then your interests as far as schools, what colleges, what universities, what programs are you wanting to connect to and keep up to date with? I'm a WGU alumni, so I'm going to keep connected with them. I also love NSLS, National Society of Leadership and Success, and so I'm connected to both of them. That's a basic rundown of a LinkedIn profile and how to build that out. I'll go into depth a little bit more later on as far as how you connect to others with networking, as well as open to work, how to play that in your favor, and how to utilize analytics for free. I'm not paying for LinkedIn, but it is going to be a huge part of your career if you want to get into the white collar industry. I'm still fresh in the industry. I'm actually 5 years into it. So some say I'm not new to this at all. I still think I'm very new. I'm fairly young. I still have many decades of playing the white collar survival game because we all kind of want to survive this together and thrive in this industry. So I really appreciate you listening to me ramble on about this, and I will be posting another video on LinkedIn networking here shortly. Bye.